Get all up in here. We're gonna let y'all get all up in here. God, neighbor.
My operation making a separation from rodents. Get out display. Rhyming, shining like gold glitter.
Get up in here. Stop playing with me.
Hustle,
You alright?
this rap.
I need to get this to stop. Where y'all at? Stop playing with me.
More intense, a born hustler, CV, get to RE, serve.
Okay, yeah, that's how we do it. Yes, sir. We are live in effect. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. We're gonna start this countdown. We're gonna get into it. Let me make sure that's what it is. Facebook. Make sure we live everywhere. Make sure we live in effect. It one effect. The DOS effect. Snapping next with the DOS effects. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's start the countdown. We getting into. We got some easy picks for y'all. As always, it's Bang Bang Nighters gang. As always, yeah. Let's get it. Let's go. 30-second countdown. Let's go.
Shooting at snakes, losing our stash. Over numbers when dice break. First pack was some cooked up shake. Up the A+ discuss. Busting their weights. Snakes trusting lots of hate. Put the world at stake. Teenage lust. Unbelievably in the black at night. To lose my description if I have to act at night. Craving for fast call.
All right, let me stop that. Because I'll listen to that the whole John. Shout out to Crooks and Villains. Coatesville, PA of the 90s. Mitt, aka Francis Fire. Hold Your Head Marbles. Free Him. Who else? RIP to Killer Banks. You know, Lee Moon should be coming home soon. I don't know his situation. I know he had about a 20-year bid, and it should be around that time for him to come up for parole, but I don't know his situation. Lee Moon, you out there? Shout out to you, my guy. Hey, we're going to get straight into what I know y'all came here for. Without any further ado, as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel. As always, make sure y'all subscribe. That is the key to understanding when we're going live. But we are always here at least Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. And we give out the picks. First week, we did very well. On the one hand, you could say it was 12-5 on the actual picks, and with the spread, 11-6. For week one, that's actually pretty good. And you know, a couple of surprises of what happened last week. We ain't going to get into any of the recaps. We're going to dive straight into the games because tomorrow we have a game, obviously. But first, man, make sure y'all hit that bell, hit that subscribe, hit the like button. Make sure y'all share. You know, like button goes a long way. It costs you nothing to hit that like button. Costs you nothing at all. If you can, do me a favor, share it live. Let people know we out here giving away this free money. I don't gamble myself, but this is for those of y'all that do gamble. I know some of y'all are into that sort of thing, and people that know me understand this is free money. This is free money. This is free money. Absolutely. Absolutely. But without further ado, let's get into it. We got our weekly picks, weekly Wednesday professional fans sports talk. Man, I have the all 22. We're gonna start breaking down film Fridays. I want to give people about a week or so and get some more people in here, get some comments, get some questions, make sure we giving out content that you guys want to see, you guys want to hear. But I know for a fact you guys are into the picks. So without further ado, we're gonna jump into these picks. First off, we got Eagles and the Vikings. We have the Eagles and the Vikings. So I had to put this on there for those of y'all, especially you Eagles fans, to let y'all know. Look, I'm picking y'all to win. I'm not picking y'all to lose. This is the spread. Like let's make sure we're on the same page here. We right here with it, right? This is the spread. So I think you guys are going to win. I just don't think you guys are going to win by 6.5 points, which is basically a touchdown. I don't think you guys are going to win by a touchdown. I think I give the Vikings a little bit more credit than that. And the Eagles do need to do a little bit more with the offense, and they don't. Yeah, so we're just gonna leave it with that. I'm gonna go with the Eagles to win, not by 6.5, and I believe it will be over 49 points. So y'all better lock in these now, because these are as of this morning, and some of these are like listen, you don't fall for none of the trap ones, but some of these are actually rather, because they were basing these, as always, they're basing it off of 2022 and the likes, and also by rankings and rotations of how they go through different conferences. So these first couple weeks for some of these, just on paper, obviously it's on paper. Anything can happen, right? It's the NFL. On paper, this week is one of the easier weeks I've seen. And if I gambled, I would probably drop a lot of money on this week, to be honest with you. Next one, we have the Bucks and the Bears. So we got the Bears coming down to Tampa. See if any of my Chicago people come down here. Come down here to Tampa and see that. But, I like the Bucks. 3-point favorites with the over 41.5. We ain't going to dig too much into that. The Bears are the Bears. Their offensive coordinator is complete trash. He's running high school style plays, concepts, things I'm drawing up for varsity, 14U varsity Pop Warner football. I'm seeing the same type of passing concepts and the same type of passing plays. So I'm like, he needs to get it together. I think Justin Fields had 2 design throws over like 20 yards or something like that. And you have DJ Moore. They're blocked. They have a lot of work to do. I know people had the huge hype with them, and me being one of them. Green Bay just looked a lot better than I thought they would. Jordan Love looked like he sat for 3 years and was hungry. He wasn't great, but he did just enough. And the offense put up 38 points, so they did their thing. So I'm going with the Bucks with that one. Next, we got the Chargers versus the Titans. Chargers versus the Titans. Once again, I think this is a steal. The Titans defense isn't what it used to be. Yeah, I understand. The Titans and the Saints was a low-scoring game, but the Titans and the Saints are low-scoring teams. Chargers are not a low-scoring team. Plus, the Chargers don't have a great defense. So the Titans are going to put up more points than they normally would, and the Chargers are going to put up more points than the Saints did. So I believe over 46. And I like that Chargers with that 3. I definitely, I don't care if the Titans are at home. It's still early in the season. Home doesn't mean a lot this time of the year. It means something, but it doesn't mean a lot unless you like, even the Seahawks lost at home to the Rams, who they usually beat at home. So at home doesn't, most of the teams last week were away that won. So that should show you something. If y'all paying attention, I don't think y'all really pay attention. I think y'all just bet with your hearts instead of betting with your minds. Use your mind, cuz. Use your mind. Here. So I like the Chargers over 46. And then with the 3. And then we're going to go to the Chiefs and the Jags. Chiefs and the Jags. See, right now it's at 3.5. When I picked it, I said with the 3. Now there's 3.5 because they know. See, y'all gotta lock these. That y'all have to lock these in. I'm gonna update it now because this morning it was at 3. So now I'm gonna fix this real time and say cautiously 3.5 because they know a lot of people were picking that 3. And if you didn't, for guys that might just be tuning in, or may have gotten here late. The Chiefs was at 3 earlier when I picked this. Now they're at 3.5. And that's why I say you guys need to lock these in now if you're a betting person, because some of these, I think these might be mistakes when I saw these earlier. I'm like, all right, you have to be, you got to be kidding me with these. Chiefs and the Jags. I still like them 3.5 over the Jags. It's still the Chiefs and it's still the Jags. So don't let week 1 get anything misconstrued. There's going to be tape. There's going to be film. People are going to adjust. Temper your expectations on week 1 on certain things. Some people are who they are. But on some things like the Chiefs, it's the Chiefs. Don't be that play calling sequence, the way what they were doing wasn't the greatest. So we're going to go with the Chiefs on that. Next one, we got the Colts and the Texans. They basically just said this is a pick 'em. I just think the Colts are a little bit better. So actually, it was at 1.5 over and 40. Now we're going to update it now. Real time. Breaking. This just in. Oh, man. This just in. It is now. It was. So this is what it was. 1.5 over 40. Now it is 1 and 39.5. So they're trying to scare people away. I would still pick the Colts. That over scares me a little bit now that they moved that. 21 and 17 is still no, that's 38 points. We're gonna go under now. I'm switching that just because they did that. I think I did see something. So we're gonna go Colts under 39.5 against the Texans, because the Texans have a solid defense, and the Colts are rookies. I mean, the Colts quarterback is a rookie. Houston Texans. You got 2 rookies going up against each other. It's going to be a lot of mistakes, but I think the Colts are going to make less. So nextly, we have the Packers. That's why I keep looking back and forth, because I'm making sure these are the same real time. Packers. This moved as well. Packers versus the Falcons. I think the Falcons are that much better than the Falcons, and that's why they have it that. But I mean, the Falcons struggled a little bit with the Panthers, so we're not going to make it seem like the Falcons are that good, but they are better. But this did move to 1, and the over still about the same. I'm still keeping the over the same. I'm gonna still keep the 1, and I still advise to go with the 4.5. For that reason, I don't think they both have the greatest defenses. So I would, with a grain of salt, as far as Yeah, the over should be fine with that. I think the over will be fine. But I think the Packers are going to take that. And once again, these are mostly the away teams again. The away teams have been doing it. Away teams mostly won last week. The away teams are doing it this week. That's why I picked it. It don't. Once again, it's early in the season. It's not cold. It's still beautiful weather. So home doesn't really matter right now. First game or two. These are just extended preseasons, more or less. So I'm rocking with the Packers. Next one we have Raiders versus the Bills at 8.5. They're giving the Bills 8.5, and that's why I'm taking the Raiders. But if you see that in parentheses, once again, for anyone that has a discrepancy like that, I'm making sure I clarify. Bills win. Bills are going to win, I believe, but I don't think they are 8.5 points better than the Raiders are. The Raiders have a solid defense. Solid, not good. They're solid. Their offense is solid. Jimmy G is a 18 quarterback. He's ranked 18 in there. He's not horrible. He's trash. He's trash, but Josh McDaniels utilizes him pretty well, and so did Kyle Shanahan. So you have to worry about things like that. So I don't think the Raiders are going to get blown out by the Bills, but I don't think they're going to beat the Bills. So that 8.5, that's crazy. To be honest with you, 8.5 is a crazy point spread for the Bills, who just struggle. I know the Jets have a solid defense, but Josh Allen is a turnover machine. He averages 2.2 turnovers a game for his career. He's a turnover machine. Yeah, he's going to put up some points, but he's going to turn the ball over as well, and he's going to give the other team points. Josh McDaniels' teams are going to be a little bit more disciplined than some. He's a Belichick guy. Doesn't mean he's good, but they're going to be disciplined. So I don't think the Raiders are going to get blown out. No, they're a better team than that. You ain't going to do them like that. That's horrible. Next, we got the Ravens and the Bengals. Once again, I think they are doing crack because it actually moved. So we're going to do this real time now. This just in breaking. Good night. Oh, you saw your mans in them? Where you at, Chuck? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could pause? Now this is an atrocity. Like y'all giving it, but it's actually changed now to 3.5. They giving the Ravens 3.5 points. I don't know why. If you're going off of anything you've seen last year or anything you've seen this current season, the same Bengals team that couldn't even score on the Browns. So they're supposed to be a 3.5 favorite against the Ravens just because they're at home. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Yeah, like exactly. How do you give the Bengals 3.5 points, Chuck? I don't see that. Yeah, super pause. You missed it. We already talked about the Jags and Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I don't. I'm going with the Ravens. That almost. If y'all seen the rest of these picks, I'm gonna just show y'all real quick, just for those that might have been a little bit late. Yeah, not me. I don't indulge in any of those things. But so here's the first one. Eagles win, but I like the Vikings 6. I like that 6.5. I don't think the Eagles are going to beat them by 6.5. I think the Eagles are going to win, but I don't think they're going to beat them by 6.5. I think the Bucs are going to handle the Bears just because they're the Bears. And then the Chargers, I like them 3 points over the Titans. Chiefs, I like them 3.5 over the Jags. It's gonna be a close game, but it's Patrick Mahomes. And then the Colts, I like those 1 point favorites over the Texans. Packers, 1 point favor over the Falcons. Once again, I don't know what they see in the Falcons. Raiders, 8.5 over. I like the Bills to win, but 8.5 is just bananas. And then now we're here at the Ravens. We're going to rock with the Ravens over the Bengals. Trevor Lawrence, that's who's high. Trevor Lawrence does the drugs. Next, we got the Seahawks versus the Lions. And let me see if that one switched. No, they kept that one the same. So I'm going with the Lions over the Seahawks, 5.5. They beat them last year. Lions look good. And it's not because they beat the Chiefs. The Lions are just getting better. Now they have confidence in the swagger. The Seahawks, they shouldn't even really made the playoffs last year. They kind of backpedaled into the playoffs and they got blown out of the play. They're not that good. And they got shown that by losing to a Rams team that didn't even have Cooper Kupp. They lost to what's his name? Nakua, whoever his name is. Yeah, for those that don't know, that's Trevor Lawrence. You see that jawline? Look at that jawline, cuz. On Neighborhood, look at that jawline. On Pyru and them. That's what Trevor Lawrence's jawline is. You like the Birds and the Jags to cover. That's it, and that's a fair point. Because the Jags are one of those teams that do very well against the spread. So I can see that, Chuck. And with the Eagles, potentially, yes, because the Vikings defense is trash, and their defensive line specifically, and the Eagles have a very good offensive line. The only reason I don't like the Eagles to cover is because it's tomorrow. They're literally playing tomorrow. So they've 5 days, not even. So you played Sunday, then Monday is your usually your break, which did they really get a break on Monday? Then Tuesday is your walkthrough. Wednesday, which is today, is your day off. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's Thursday. That's why I don't like that 8.5. That's the only reason. It's those factors. The Eagles are 8.5 points better than the Vikings, I believe. Absolutely, yes, 100%. They are yes. What money, sis? You just the season just started. What money? I don't gamble. This is for everybody else to gamble, sis. We don't gamble. We of the Lord. That is hilarious. Trevor, Trash Truck Juice, Alien Head Lawrence. I can't stand that dude. But anyway, so yes, I like the Lions also 5.5 over. We just said it, the Seahawks. So the Seahawks are hot butter garbage now, and over 47 because the Lions still, the defense is whatever. The Seahawks aren't a bad offensive team. Their defense just isn't the greatest. Next, we got the Giants versus the Schmartnels. Giants and the Schmartnels. Oh, you said tap in for money. Tap in. Oh. Well, yeah, tap in if you gamble for money, sis. Do you gamble? You got to gamble an addiction that I need to know? Whoever that is in that picture with you is a nut. If he he a stone cold weirdo. If he out there letting you gamble. And if that dude is a nut in the picture with her, clap your hands. If you know it, clap your hands. You ask your Jesus to help you gamble, and that's why you be losing, because Jesus don't gamble. If you ask the real, that's Jesus. Stop asking Jesus. Jesus doesn't know as much as I do, bro. That's the problem. Who before this pick? Let's go before the Lions. Exactly. You did lose. Exactly, because you asked Jesus and not Jesus. It was the Lions. Lions and the Lions and the Seahawks were 47.5. Well, it's 47.5 now. I'm still going over 47.5. And they're still that. It was the Ravens before that. Now we got the Giants. I like the Giants with the over the Cardinals. Yeah, I know the Giants got blown out. I understand. They lost 40-0, right? They're playing the Cardinals. I mean, they're playing the Cardinals. They're better than the Cardinals. The Cowboys are good. I mean, the Cowboys defense was that good last year. And that's what it was, because it wasn't the Cowboys offense that did too much of anything. It was the Cowboys defense that the Giants couldn't get around. And I think the Giants defense are going to do way better. And the Giants offense, is going to do way better than the Cardinals. I highly, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, the Giants do suck. But he does know the Giants. I agree with that. I agree, but I don't think the Cardinals are they just don't have it, and I don't see it. It was game one. That was their best shot. Were they like 16 points, whatever it was, against the Commanders? Now the Commanders do have a good defense, and that's why I like the over, because the Giants defense isn't as good as the Commanders defense. However, I just think the Giants are going to put up more points than the Cardinals, and I think by a touchdown. They're going to have something to prove. You can't just blow them out. He's a nut. Anybody worry about that dude? Look at him. All happy. He all happy. Like, what you married? You married a good dude, huh? Guy a good dude. He ain't no thug like me. You know what I'm saying? All this red. See, even the seat's red. Look at that. Yeah. You hear me? I worry about that dude. I'd knock that dude out on me. So I like the Giants over the Cards. Then we got Bang Bang Niners gang. Niners and the Rams. Y'all gonna call me a homer for this, but I ain't. This is legit. 7.5 over 44 against the Rams. You know why? Because that's what we do usually. Like the last four starts. Usually the Rams will be closer in the second game that they play the 49ers. The first game, they always get blown out. They lost the last 8 straight, I believe it is. But the way the pattern has been, I look at these things. You know, these things go into gambling. These things go into learning what you pick, patterns, people's pass defenses, people rush defense, where they got better at, where they didn't get better at, where they improved at, where they didn't improve. Where the 49ers improved at versus last year, they're off to a hot start early. Brock Purdy is undefeated, and he hasn't scored under 30 points yet in the regular season. And the only time he didn't really score that many points was against the Cowboys. And the Cowboys just have a very, very, very good defense. Like, you're not going to score that many points in the Cowboys defense. That it is what it is, right? The Rams isn't the Cowboys defense. But here's also another thing. Matthew Stafford is back and he's healthy. So I'm not going to make it seem like they're going to do 30-7 like they did against the like they did against the Steelers. I got more respect for the Rams and the divisional opponent than that. But I could see it being like a 31-17 because 49ers don't give up that many points, but they do put up points. They are freakishly crazy with that. They're getting better. You like the Rams money line? Okay, this is why. See, keep listening to Jesus, because they're also playing in the Rams stadium, and it doesn't matter. It's always the home team for the Rams and the 49ers. 49ers sell 60% of the tickets, even in the Rams stadium. So it's a second home game. And here's what's also disrespectful. This is how disrespectful the 49ers are being to the Rams. They're wearing their red home jerseys. They're wearing their home jerseys. That's disrespectful. Now, that might fire the Rams up to actually win because you ain't going to come in my home wearing your home jerseys and disrespect me. At the same time, the Rams aren't a better team than the 49ers. They literally have 7 All-Pros, the highest paid players at each position. Brandon Ayuk won the air person. Christian McCaffrey won the ground person for the week. Brock Purdy was the number 1 rated quarterback of the week. Drake Jackson on the defense is leading the league in sacks with 3 for the. I know it's the first game and whatnot, but however, the 49ers look like they picked up right where they left off at, and this is what they do to the Rams normally. And I think we have a better team than we did last year with the way Brock Purdy is playing currently, right now. I truly believe so. I'm going with the 7.5, and I convinced you. You better. I'm telling you, you better. Pizzles, God. So next, I like the Commanders with the 3.5 over the Broncos. They're giving the Commanders 3.5 points. Now, I know the Broncos have a good defense. Commanders have a good defense. Oh, but the Broncos have Sean Payton. I don't care. What's that supposed to mean? Broncos might still win. I don't know. That's between y'all on that one. I don't even know who's going to win. The Broncos may win, but I think the Commanders are not going to lose by more than 3.5 points. Absolutely not. Not against the Broncos. The Broncos can't even put up that many points. And they didn't put up that many points against a Raiders team who's not a better defensive team than the Commanders team. Are we in agreement with that? Right? What was last week's score? What was last week's final score? We got it right here, right? Last week's final score. Broncos 16, Raiders 17. They only put up 16 points on the Raiders. I believe the Commanders are a better defense than the Raiders. Now, Raiders have a better coach, I think. However, I think the Commanders, I know, it is a funny name. It's stupid, to be honest with you. The Commanders. They feel like I'm in my underwear. I feel like I'm wearing tighty whities when I see their name. Like the Commanders. It feel like something you wear when you're like 6 to bed. Mommy, can I wear my Commanders to bed? So, Washington. We're just going to say Washington. I like Washington. And actually, yeah, I'm gonna stick with the over with the 38. I'm gonna stick with it. Did they move it at all? Let me see if they moved it. It's at 39 now. I don't know if I like it over 39. It was entertaining. And the ball Quincy Till from Coastville was right near there too. That Ravens fan, they like 6-pieced this boy. One guy held him down like this. The other guy was just like me, doing an AI crossover on his face, like That's it. I think they said he's still in the hospital for that. Still in the hospital. Oh well. Don't show up to DC wearing Baltimore gear if you don't want to get punched in the face. That's actually in the Bible. It's chapter Commanders, verse Leviticus. Thou shalt not wear a Ravens jersey in DC, or thine will get puncheth in thine face repeatedly. Or neighborhood. Next game, we got the Jets versus the Cowboys. We got the Jets and the Cowboys. They still are giving the Cowboys 9.5 points. They're giving the Cowboys 9.5 points. I know Aaron Rodgers went down. But they're giving the Cowboys 9.5 points. I can't do it. It's hard for me to see that Jets defense that was number 4 last year. Their defense was number 4 last year that has gotten better. losing 9.5 points. But you see in the parentheses, Cowboys win. I believe the Cowboys win. They might even win by a touchdown. I believe. He does. Chuck. That's why I can't see them beating the Jets by 9.5 points for the same reason I talked about earlier. Their total yardage. Let's go to last week's stats. I like facts. Yeah, they beat them 40-0. Woohoo! Right? That's great. Okay, but what did Dak Prescott do? Dak Prescott was 13 for 24 and 143 yards. Granted, he probably didn't have to do much, right? However, his air yards were atrocious, and the Cowboys' total yards were only 265. So, time of possession, the Giants had the ball longer. I don't see them beating them 9.5 points. I just don't see them beating 9.5 points. I could see a touchdown at the most. Like, I know Aaron Rodgers went down. Yes, I understand that. But I just don't see 9.5 points. I can't fathom that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I just don't see it. Yeah, Sauce Gardner. Yeah, absolutely. And Whitehead, who's leading the league in interceptions, their safety with 3, already got his bonus. His bonus incentive was to get 3 interceptions for the year. He got it in the first game against Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. I mean, yeah, he does. He does. I don't know, Chuck. I can't even. I just can't with the not 9.5. I can't do it. I can't. My arms are tied. I'm sorry, Chuck. My hands are tied, brother. Hard ER too. I gave you the hard ER, brother. Yeah, that is good for Whitehead. Yeah, absolutely. I got it in the first day. $250,000. That's a salary. He got a whole salary for a hard day's work. For a hard day's work. All right, so we did the Jets and the Cowboys. Next, we got the Dolphins and the Patriots. They moved it a little bit, so I'm going to change it. I'm going to show you what it was. So this is why y'all need to lock them in early, because this is what it was. 2.5 at 46.5. This is why they moved it, because like, are you sure the Patriots, like the same Dolphins team that's clicking and Tua's healthy, their line's playing better, Waddle in his second year, 2.5 points? Are you that same Tua that almost broke the record for passing yards in the first week? He's crazy accurate. He's a system QB. Mike McDaniels is just like Kyle Shanahan. He's going to take a person that is a system QB that is accurate and quick with their throws, and he's going to make them look better than what they are. And Tua is left-handed, and anybody that's played football, playing against a left-handed quarterback, it's weird. The ball spins differently. It's weird. So when they scramble, it's hard. That's why in the NFL, that people that get paid millions to do, they'll put in somebody that's left-handed on a scout team to pretend to be like Tua, to show you how the ball's going to come out from a left-handed person, scramble from a left-handed person. It's weird. If you fight somebody left-handed, it's weird when somebody does things the opposite of what you're used to seeing and doing. So 2.5 at the first game? Nah, that's crazy. They are no joke. They are no joke. However, Josh McDaniels design plays, same thing with Kyle Shanahan. Even if that front four gets home, their design plays is to exploit front fours getting home, because that's the type of defense that Kyle Shanahan brings in practice. So he has all types of beaters for these front fours and front seven beaters. They cover the middle and the outs of the field very well. Yeah, I think they cover, but they did move it, so I'm gonna move it to what it is now. It's not y'all should have locked it in when it was 2.5. That was easier. I mean, now it didn't move crazy. Nothing bananas, but it did move a half point each way. So now it's at 3 and over 47. I still like the Dolphins to cover that. But that's tight now because no longer will that field goal get you that that win anymore. No question. No longer will that field goal get you that win anymore. I still like over 47, even though Belichick doesn't give up a lot of points. But however, he let the Eagles give up points, and the Dolphins have a way better offense than the Eagles do. Way better offense this year. So we're going with the Dolphins. And next one, Saints and the Panthers. Saints and the Panthers. That one, only the over has moved by half a point, so I'll change it because I was going to keep it. I'll keep it the same anyway because I think is what I think. I think the Saints and under. The Saints versus the Panthers. Yeah, I feel you. And they still getting swept. I feel you. I feel you. But the Cubs lost, so it shouldn't be too much movement in the standings. But yeah. I feel you. I feel you, brother. Hardy R. I like the Saints against the Panthers. I like. No, so anyway, so Saints have a good defense. Saints have a solid defense. And the Panthers aren't going to put up a lot of points, and the Saints aren't going to allow the Panthers and a young quarterback to put up a lot of points. And the Saints just don't have an offense that puts up a lot of points, nor do the Panthers. J.C. Warren is injured, but the Panthers have a good, solid front. So I like it to go under because Derek Carr is still Derek Carr, and he still is interception prone. There you go, Chuck. There's that faith, even with that emoji, too. Just like that, too. The Phillies. Yeah, I like the under. Yeah. Yeah, that one's for, not Bryce Young. Bryce Young still looks like a deer in the headlights, and Dennis Allen's defense is going to give him a lot more fits than the Falcons' defense is. He thought he had fits with the Falcons' defense just because of talent. The Saints are going to do things coverage-wise that's going to really confuse a rookie. Really going to confuse a rookie, and the Saints may score about 21 points, but the under is 40, so it's gonna be like 21-7, you know what I mean, or like to 10. I just don't see 40 points for those two teams. And last but not least, we have the Steelers versus the Browns. Anybody want to guess? So what I'm picking, they're giving the Browns 2 points, and the over under is 39. Browns 2 points, over under 39, and it moved. What do you guys think? The Browns are getting 2 points versus the Steelers, and the over under is 39. What do y'all think y'all doing with that? I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm going with the Browns. 39.5. Well, that's right. They moved it. It moved. Yeah, like they gave them 2 points, and the Browns just beat the Bengals. The Bengals are a better team than the Steelers. Like, don't let I don't know what they were doing. You going over? Okay. You going over? So am I. And it was 30. So I even picked over when it was 39.5. So now that it's actually, they moved it to 39. I still like the over. They try to scare people. For those that are into gambling, they do things like that to try to scare people. I know that's right. At least 24, 20. Yeah, absolutely. And the Steelers are going to at least get like 7 to 10 points. Like, they're not horrible. The 49ers are just a very good team. The Steelers, at least, yeah, I think the Browns defense isn't as good as the 49ers, but it's still solid. So I'd give the Steelers about 10. So you minus 10 from that, you get about 29, 28. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I see. I'm going with the over. I'm going with over, and that's the Monday night game. So it's going to be on the national stage. Yes, and that's why over to 39. Because I think the Steelers are going to do better than what they did against the 49ers. The 49ers game is an anomaly. This is what the 49ers do to every quarterback team that's quarterback-led for the last 2-3 years. Quarterbacks only average 125, 150 yards up passing against the 49ers. Like, that's what they do. Their defense is just crazy. And they gotten better. I don't know how, but they gotten better. Yeah, the Steelers are young. It was the first game. Like, I think the Steelers are going to be solid. I don't think they're going to win the division or anything. They may get a playoff spot. They are the roster. They got a roster full of number one picks and first round talent. They have Clelin Ferrell, who came from the Clemson. He didn't look that well in Las Vegas, but Chris Kocurek, the best defensive line coach in the league, has him looking like a beast. Drake Jackson, second year. He was a first round talent out of USC. He only fell to the second round because of the need for quarterbacks, wide receivers, and offensive tackles. That's the only reason Drake Jackson went to the second round. He's a first round talent. He's a beast. I feel you as an Eagles fan. Nah, I'm not going to put that one. Yeah, I'm not going to put that one. Nip. Go away, birds. So, just to recap, we're going to go through them real quickly, just in case y'all missed any. We got the Vikings, 6.5 over the Eagles. I like the Eagles to win, but that 6.5 is tough because it's also Thursday. That's going to be tough. I don't like anybody to win by 6.5 points on a Thursday, unless they're getting really blown out. But I just don't see it. Bucks, I like them 3 over the Bears. Let me make sure I got teams up. I don't want to mess up who they're playing. We got the Bucks over the Bears, 3. We got the Titans over 46 with the 3. Chargers over the Titans, 46. And then this one's a little tougher. Chiefs, 3.5 over 51. It's tough. That's gonna be a tough one right there, to be honest with you. I went back and forth with this one a few times before I launched. I had the Jags there, I had the Chiefs there. I went with the Chiefs redemption. That's the only reason I did. I went with Chief redemption. Andy Reid is going to make sure, because Matt Nagy was calling those plays last Sunday. Those were Matt Nagy Bears plays. They looked just like what Justin Fields was playing. Just like what Justin Fields was throwing last year. So I think Andy Reid that was one thing I wanted to talk about. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes did some communication last week that let me know that Andy Reid wasn't calling the plays and that he may potentially take over, not over the plays, but over the sequence of some of how these plays, because he trusted Matt Nagy with the play calling period the first game, because Patrick Mahomes said something to Andy Reid, and Andy Reid went like this, but the camera quickly went off to him. It's on the all 22. He said something to him, and it was right when the play just didn't work, and Andy Reid was just like I don't know. And it was a play like, why did Matt Nagy call such a corny behind concept at that down and distance? But it's the same thing. It got him fired in Chicago. So I think the Bears 3.5. I mean, what's the Bears for? Chiefs over the Jaguars 3.5 for that one. Colts, I like them. 1 point. They're 1 point better than the Texans. The Texans are a bad team, and they are. CJ Stroud's going to be nice, but the Texans are a bad team. Colts are bad, but they're not as bad as the Texans are. Packers, Falcons, same thing. It's the Packers. Definitely Packers. I mean, definitely. I don't and over 40 just because of defenses. Raiders with the 8.5, with the over 46.5. I still like the Bills to win. So calm down, Bills Mafia. I don't need y'all to throw me through no table or anything like that. Turning me into an old buffalo sauce. So I still like the Bills to win, but I like the Raiders to keep it a little bit closer. This one still baffles me. Could be a trap game, but who knows? I like this 46.5, and I like it over because I like the Bengals for the redemption. Joe Burrow to come back, score some points, but it's the Ravens. They aren't no pushovers. You give them 3.5, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens on that. Lions, Seahawks. Seahawks are trash. It's hard for me to pick them. I like the over 47 because both of their defenses are suspect, but I do like the Lions to beat them by a little bit more. That's stretching it for a Lions 5.5. So that's a stretch right there. That is a stretch, but I like them to do that. Same thing with the Giants over the Cards. With the over and 40. I think they're going to beat them single-handedly beat them. Bang Bang Niners gang over the Lambs. 49ers are just that good this year, and it's not because I'm a Niners fan or nothing. It has nothing to do with that. There's no bias in this, guys, because last week. No, not last week, because I had them covering last week. But yeah, I just because I want to. That's why. Because I want to. 7.5. Take it if y'all want to. Be scared if y'all want to. We ganging them. So Commanders and the Broncos. I like the Commanders with the 3.5 over 38. I like that 3.5 for the Commanders. The Broncos didn't even beat the Raiders, and the Raiders, yeah. So Commanders 3.5. Jets Cowboys. Once again, I don't like that 9.5. I like the Cowboys to win, but I do not like that 9.5. I do not like it, Sam. I do not like green eggs and ham. I don't like that 9.5. Once again, the Cowboys offense didn't do enough for me last week against the Giants defense, and the Jets defense is a lot better. So, yeah, the Cowboys put up 40 points, but the Jets had a bunch. I mean, the Giants had a bunch of turnovers, 7 sacks, 3 turnovers. That's going to get you more points than normal. That's why the inflation on the points, and that's why the Giants didn't do anything. But I just don't see 9.5. I think the Jets are still going to put some points up. Where my Dolphins and I don't know where the Dolphins and other one went. I think I accidentally deleted it, but I'm gonna re-put it up there. Dolphins negative 3.0 in over for the sale. So the Dolphins, I like the Dolphins. Getting those 3 points against the Patriots. Over 47. Dolphins offense is explosive. I know Belichick just allowed the Eagles to put up 31. So, and they scored 21. A good Eagles defense. So that was a total of 52 points. I can see that over 47. Better offense from the Eagles. worse defense from the Dolphins. So I see the over, but I think the Dolphins are just going to pull that out. Then we have the Saints. The 2 Monday night games are the first one, Saints and the Panthers. I think the Saints 3 with the under. I don't see either of those teams putting up a bunch of points. If the Saints do put up a bunch of points, it's because the Panthers have created a nice amount of turnovers, which means they're not going to score a lot of points anyway. And then Saints just don't put up a lot of points. If they score anything over 28, that means the Panthers didn't score anything. So I still like with the under with 40. And then the final game is the Steelers versus the Browns. I like the Browns too with the over. And that's all of your games. And that is basically all of my time. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, share the content. Make sure y'all comment. If you're on Twitter, same thing. Hit that follow button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell so you can get the notifications when we go live. Because once again, we were 12-5 against the spread, 11-6 for the picks. It's free money this week. It looks like a little bit more free money than normal. Betting everything. Listen, let's get it, Chuck. We was 12-5 against the spread last week, so it's free money out there. This week, I think, is a little bit more free money than normal. I think a little bit more free money than normal. I just think, I just think it's a little bit more free money than normal. Bear Image Media, it's your guy, the Bull, the Himothy Duncan, the Book of Himothy's. HIM, he is me. Sorry, I'm looking up something. All right. Just wanted to make sure we was good. I wanted to make sure we're going through everything. But yeah, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're getting all the picks. Make sure y'all getting all the money. We making sure y'all guys are getting paid for those that like to gamble. Throughout the week, we do random things. We break down some film. We do instant reactions on games. Sometimes I go live during games. Don't be telling the feds, though. I shouldn't even told y'all that. But anyways, sometimes there's some instant reactions to these games. If y'all can't catch these out-of-market games, you know what I'm saying? I watch every single game. Every single game. And I like to highlight a game of the week sometimes, but we'll see. But definitely have film. Maybe on Fridays, Film Fridays, we'll know. We'll see. Pre-game live. I'll just go live pre-game just to make sure we double down, make sure y'all got y'all bets in, reiterate some of these picks. And then also for fantasy on Sundays, check my post mostly on that. I don't usually do videos for that. I usually do posts to let y'all know throughout the week who's injured, who's in, who's out, top 5, worst 5. Yeah, man. Last year, I was in the championship for fantasy. I did not win. Last 3 years I was in a championship for fantasy. I won 1 out of the 3 years of fantasy in championships. I do what I do because I actually study the game and I love it. I study it like I'm in the NFL. People know me, know that for a fact. That's what football is my first love outside of my wife. Outside of my wife. Yes. So football is my second love. Yes, sir. Bob. With that said, it is your boy Geach signing off. Bear Image Media. Until next time, we love you guys.